Welcome back, audience. Hope you're doing fine. And in this one, I want to talk about love. Yes, I want to talk about love. And I kind of want to distinguish the types of love that exist out there. And I happen to find that there are possibly three types. Of course, I mean you can categorize any way you want, but I think the three fundamental types of love. The first one is the traditional romantic type of relationship where there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of heartache, there's a lot of stories. Um, but this type of love stems from a certain type of dynamic. From if I'm if I may to be if I may be frank about this, it stems from polarity, and the polarity being there is a abuser and abused dynamic. Um, there's always someone in this type of dynamic. There's always someone being abused, but they allowing it, they like it, and someone abusing. Another type of expression for this is narcissist and empath. That's what people usually use. But I just simply use the polarity, that word, where one is learning wisdom and another one is learning love. Narcissist usually is learning love. I don't like that word. I don't want to use this word, but let's just say the person who is love challenged or uh, without the empathy, and a person who's with empathy. It's usually, for some reason, empathetic people find someone to save that isn't, not really that empathetic. This is the most dynamic that we see. I mean, this is probably the best way to describe it is attachments. I have to say that this type of love is not really love, even though we like to call it love, but it's not love yet. It has a potential for love, but it's not love yet. Because love cannot be unreciprocated. Because whenever two people are in a relationship, and let's say one of them is claiming to be in love, and another one is claiming not to be in love, that's not love. Someone is delusional. Whether there is a potential, you know, for that love to be reciprocated or not is the real question is what is happening right now in this moment. And if feelings are not reciprocated, it cannot be love. It's not love. It's usually like an attachment. and the person with attachment is being used by the person who just, glad to take that energy if it's really given, and give nothing back. That's not love. Love cannot be without reciprocation. If there's no reciprocation, then there's no love. And I don't understand. I mean, I do understand because I've experienced myself, and I like to think I've been on both sides of it. And but I have to say in the end that that's not love. If the love is not reciprocated, or your feelings are not reciprocated rather, then you're not in love, you're just in attachment. This is what brings me to what love truly is. And you can call it divine love, but it's just love, just like a real love between people that is reciprocated. And some people say that they're looking for the unconditional love, but I have to be careful with that and what you mean by unconditional love, because I think they mean that they are looking for reciprocated feelings. They're looking for love, but it's quite conditional, the real love, because someone that loves you, they want certain things for you that are good for you. They do not want things that are bad for you. Therefore, it is conditional. They will not be happy to see you in pain. They will do whatever it takes for you not to be in pain. It's conditional to love you. So I would like to say that this is divine love. It's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is what we already are experiencing. That universal background of everything. That's unconditional love, because it gives anything you ask. Of course, you ask with the belief system. You may not be consciously aware of what you're asking, what's being brought up based on your belief system. But based on your belief system, whatever you ask, it is given. That is true unconditional love. And from this perspective, that's not what we want, really. We want divine love. We do not want the things that hurt us. Even though subconsciously we're asking for it, refusing to learn the lesson or whatnot. And this is why we're always in the unconditional love. Whatever you ask, it is given. So that universal mother, if you will, universal goddess will always give you what you ask based on your belief system. It may be intimate, but it's not personal. It's universal. Another word for it would be universal love. So that's why there's like the sandwich. You have this romantic type of love it's there for you to learn in order to discover and be able to handle the real love. Because real love is not for pussies. And on the other hand, We already are, we still are in the mother's womb, so to speak. We still are in the mother's womb. And everything is given to us, whatever we ask, through our belief system. This is why if you don't like whatever you experience, all you gotta do is change your belief system. But sometimes we're so identified with the belief system that equals death, even though it's not death at all. It's a death, it's a type of death. Letting go or dissolving something that you no longer want. So what we're looking for is not unconditional love. What we're looking for is divine love. There's a masculine, there's divine masculine, which is a protective force, and then divine feminine, which is catering force. But because they're divine, they're not like these dark sides of the same force, which is devouring mother and tyrannical father. Just the ways to express this type of energies. So yeah, I guess to summarize, there's this type of love that is more like an attachment, this abuser and abuse type of connection. Then once you learn all the lessons, once you change on all your belief systems that either makes you be in a relationship that is not reciprocated, or makes you be in a relationship that you're not interested in reciprocating. Either way, the lesson has to be learned, but it's not intellectual lesson. You know, when I say lesson has to be learned, it's not like in school you learn the lesson and it's done. It's a powerful change that happens within your consciousness energetically. That's when the lesson is truly learned, where you don't no longer have that type of need or have like any kind of attraction to enter any kind of dynamic that is either abusive emotionally, or that you see that you are going to be abusing someone and using their empathy for your own gain. And in other words, abuser needs to learn love, and abusee abusee needs to learn wisdom. And once those lessons learned, only then you can find real love. You can't find real love. This is why a lot of people want that. They want, you know, like this symbolism behind the wedding, you know, white and black, yin and yang ceremony symbolizes something very profound, symbolizes a certain type of going through a certain type of journey. And even the word grooming, you know, only then you get to have this type of so-called holy matrimony. Most people having these weddings It's just a show. It's fun, it's entertaining, but it's just a show. That's why you cannot just take something if you're not ready for it. If you demand true love, but you are still in a stage of just cracking out of the egg, how can you? I mean, you don't know what love is. How can you? I mean, yes, it looks like you do know what love is. You fall in love and all that stuff, but it's just an attachment. There are feelings. There are all sorts of like chemical reactions, and that's why sometimes people call like, oh, there's no love, that's just chemical reactions. But there is love. There's beyond all that. But cannot be attained through mere wishes. There's a certain journey that you have to go through. You know? At least to get to the point where you know which direction love is. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying that you have to be perfect to find true love, but at least you have to know which direction you have to move. Every time there's a challenge, every time there's a trigger. And if you're still moving backwards, then you're not gonna be able to sustain it. Basically what I'm saying is, like, are you living in the soul or your ego? That's what I'm saying. And it's not to say that honestly, it's just a direction of life. And one is karmic, another one is dharmic, you know. But if you're in a karmic direction, you cannot. I mean, you tend to be very addicted to people, to emotions, to things. But you're not in love. You can call it like, oh, I'm in love, but you just lost your head over something that you're attached and addicted to. Of course, there's another side of that. There's another side of that. There is love behind all that, but you have to go to the other side to see what's behind that. Now I'm just talking in very mystical ways. But yeah, there's no need to look for the unconditional love because we already are in the conditional love. But the desire for the true love, divine love, is a journey. All these mythological stories created. It doesn't start with happily ever after, it ends with happily ever after. So, you might as well just go through the journey before we put that cherry on top of the cake, huh? Bake the cake first. And then have a wedding. That's it for now. Peace.